Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Dark Pool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list building session. Holy cow! Hold on one second. Today is Saturday, April 16th, 2022, and we're going to find some stocks that are going to make a greater than expected move. Let's see. One second here. I'm trying to get my things figured out where I'm missing my watch list. Ha! There it is. Found it. There it goes. All right. Welcome home, Dark Polago. Sorry about that, man. It's been a rough week. It has totally been a very rough week for me. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter or not, but I decided I wanted to donate several $1,000s to the trash can this week. I'd taken all my profits from last year out of my Thinkorswim account earlier in the week. It was in a money bag. I don't think I have one. I've got a bunch of them laying around, and we're doing some cleaning up. I just moved. We were doing some unboxing, and the bag got tossed, and then it's just gone. So yeah, you win some, you lose some. It was rough on me, man. I needed a couple days to try to come back from that. It very frustrating, but it happens. There's nothing I can do about it other than move on. So with that being said, this is a weekly watch list. We look for stocks and options that are going to make a greater than expected move. We use a tool called FLOWTRADE to look for divergence from price action and the flow index. Now, without getting too much into it, we'll do that after this break. But I just want y'all to know that we have been we're just calling them left and right. I think we're at about 85% accuracy. So it's pretty good, right? You win some, you lose some. As long as you have more winners than you do losers, you should be making money. Okay. Secondly, if this is your first time or if you're just returning, thanks for joining me. Take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you get notified anytime we put out a new video. Okay. With that being said, real quick intro, and we'll be right back with the top 4 stocks. See you in a second. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, top 4 stocks for this week. These are comprised of, out of a list of about 8,000 stocks. We ran a scan, right? We found the stocks that are at key levels, whether they're support and resistance. You know, there's some proprietary tools in there. Manually went in and checked each and every one that fit my criteria against the flow index, and I came up with the top 4. There's actually about 15, right? I'm trying to be a little bit more careful with making sure that some of these options are affordable for people. For example, Amazon Shop, Now, Upstart, those all came up as well in for a potential stock on this weekend's watch list. But I'm trying to stay away from those because those have like a $98 ATR. The lowest ATR of any of those is like $24. That can make options extremely expensive, right? You're spending $2 to $3 on an option, which is, for those of you that don't trade options, those are $200 to $300 per contract. That can put a lot of risk on the table. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this a little bit more run-of-the-mill, right? Maybe get some mid-caps in there. So, most of these stocks that I picked for this week have anywhere between a $4 and a $6 ATR, which means that their options close to the money should be anywhere from like $1 to $1.50. That is definitely a little bit more affordable, especially with the way the market's going. We got to get a little closer to the money, people. Got to get closer to the money. We got to get in them. We got to get out of them quickly. Okay. So with that being said, top 4 stocks this week are TTD, SPLK, BABA, and LOW. Okay. All right. We're going to get into it right now. Going to be quick about this. This is TTD. Okay. What you see in front of you is the flow index algorithm provided by FlowTrade. Green is price action. This purple line is the normal flow index. Okay. Red lines across the screen are regular block trades. Blue lines across the screen are dark pool block trades, and white lines are fun. Now what that means is that there's a regular and a dark pool that are printed on top of each other. This is a great example, and there's no way to separate out the 2 lines, so it appears white. In the old FlowTrade system, I was able to use a white line across that screen. I'm still able to do it. I just have to do it in a little different way. What we look for is divergence. And what divergence means is that the flow index is heading in one direction like this. So they've been net buying since the 14th, and price action starts heading in another direction, just like that. So we've got divergence out of white line level 75.22. Mark that on your screen. That's a key inflection point. Okay. Last time we hit that level, we dropped, right? We got back up to it, rejected, failed bull flag breakout, dropped again. Lots of stuff's happening at that level. So what we're looking for is we're looking to play that divergence back up to that $75 level from 63. So there's lots of room, especially with a stock that only moves about $5 a day, right? That gives us some ups and some downs opportunities. All right, what I'm seeing with the flow index is it's making a series of higher highs and higher lows, while price action is kind of chopping its way back down. We're currently resting at a regular block trade level 63.48. On the way back up, we've got a silver block, regular blocks to get through before we start getting some dark pool influence. Okay. All right. Looking at TTD on the rest of my charts. At TTD. All right. Is it TTD? Yeah, there we go. And let's start with this chart. This is my standard deviation chart really quickly. The white line is the mean, right? The daily mean, which is where the stock likes to be at. Okay. Red is the 200, blue is the 20 or is the 50-day. Now we do have earnings coming up next month, so we're looking at a potential run into earnings. All right. So what happened is with TTD is we rallied up to the 50-day, right? Couldn't really hold it, trading at 1 ATR, failed that, came back through the mean, and currently chilling at about -1 ATR. Okay. There's two ways that this can go, depending on how the market moves us. Technically, we're below the 21 EMA, the 50-day, and the 200-day, and below the point of control. All right, our TTM squeeze is about to curl back around, and Radiant Fire's got us pointed down. Okay, so we're trading at -1 ATR, but these Bollinger Bands, right, are starting to move in a little bit. Okay, so looks like supports at like 60, let's just call it 64. Potential move down to 58, right? Below that, and then it's kind of free falling, right? We'll start taking out some major key levels. This stock does trade at -2, sometimes -3 ATR, but if you can imagine a stock trading down at -3 ATR, if you were to take a rubber band and squeeze it like that, right? As soon as you let it go, the further out you pull it, the faster it whips back. Okay, this white 21-day exponential moving average is where stocks like to just chill out. Okay, so a little pop up, couldn't regain the 50-day for more than one or two periods, fell back through, and we're currently chilling at a demand zone. Okay, so looking at it from our Keltner channel perspective, which we like to use for most things here, is all right. Weekly, we are at demand zone, right? We're at a two-week demand zone here. Our MACD is still pointed down. We really haven't got a cross up and over yet. And on the daily, right? The daily, we're starting to curl around. So what I'm seeing here is we've got a couple ways that we can look at this, right? We can move back down through this demand zone and retest the weekly bottom. Is that the weekly? Let me just double check. And yes, sorry. We retest the weekly bottom. Hold on one second. My fan just kicked on. All right, got rid of that noise. We can come down and retest previous lows at 63. If we break down below that, then we retest the weekly bottom down here at 56.50. What I also like to check is some fib levels, right? So if we were to take a fib, right, from this high to this low, we went up, we retraced the 618, we broke up and out over it. But what I'm interested in is if we're still in an uptrend. So the way I check that is I go from low to high, back down to low, and it's still considered an uptrend as long as we didn't break through the 382 retracement. Now, in this instance specifically, let me show you that. Let me just bring this up a little bit more and make it bigger so that we can see what's going on. Okay, we rallied up to a high, we pulled back to the 618, failed that, and now we're testing the 50% retracement, which is also in a daily demand zone. Okay, we can fall through that and retest the weekly bottom, right down here at 56.68. That would be a nice little inverted head and shoulders, or we can launch off of this and start making our move back up towards the weekly mid at about 76, right? Ultimately, the goal I've got for this is about $86 goal, right? Which would be my 1414 extension. Looks like there's a lot of confluence right here at this 82.75 level. So depending on the options, we would either be looking at, I gotta write this down. If I don't write it down, I forget to write it up later. So, all right. 82.73 is gonna be my target one, right? 86 is my target on this. And that's if we hold this current level. We can even come down to about $60.65, right? So 60.65 is my support. Below that, we hit 56. Let's just call it 57, right? 57 would be the weekly bottom. We've got a rising 200. So we may get a little bit of consolidation right here on the 50 for the 50% and the 618 retracement, or we're going to break it and we'll come down. We'll have a couple down days and then we'll get a launch later in the week. Okay. Next up on this list is our monthly Keltner channels, right? We are way below the monthly mid, monthly bottoms down here at 41. So, like I said, we've got a possible inverted head and shoulders setting up, but this looks like pretty decent support. Rally, pullback up. We'll definitely know Monday. From a 4-hour perspective, for our candlestick perspective, right? We've got a little room down to the daily the daily Keltner channel cloud at 62.39. If we need to complete that little down cycle first before we move back up, that's well within our possibility. So where's the daily at? The daily is at 62.25. Bringing it over here to some 15-minute charts. Yeah, daily bottom could very easily be the next step down. Let's see what that would look like here. I think that would give price action enough time to kind of finish consolidating. Let's look for a little micro inverted head and shoulders here as well. We're currently at the 4-hour Keltner channel bottom, right? That's a pretty significant level of support. If that level holds, we would move back up to 64.50, and then we'd make our move back up. So what I'm looking at is longs above 64.50, right? And that's the 4-hour bottom. Okay, this is that move. On our 15-minute chart, this is how I'm looking for this to play out. Let me get my little tool up here. So we would come up, right? We would back test this 4-hour bottom here, move up to the 4-hour mid, right? Consolidate, and then ultimately come up to that 4-hour top, which is that move up to about $70, right? So that $70 target, right? That's our initial short-term target. That's a $6 move for a stock that moves about $4.50 a day. I think it can could definitely hit that move. What am I doing here? All right. Contrarian, yes. Let's look at the downside, right? We get an initial flush down to about 62.25, which is our daily top, right? That would provide another level of support that we could bounce off of, right? That might give these MACDs enough time to start curling around a little bit, right? Our shorter term MACDs, which is our 5s, 10s, 15s, are all kind of pointed up. We would look for those to help these big boys, the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly, kind of get moving back up towards the upside. So let's see. I kind of like it. I think we might get that just a quick little flush. A little wick down to kiss that daily cloud, and then it move back up. The other thing we need to look at too is this a head and shoulders on the 4-hour and we're cracking the neckline? We would know really quickly if we flush down through the daily cloud. So I would say we have the line in the sand is 60.65, right? 60.65, below that, we kind of flush down to the weeklies, okay? So that's TTD. Options for TTD. Yes, I need to start doing this. I keep forgetting to. Let me get my options screen going here. 1 second, please. I'll put that on another screen. All right. Doesn't help if you guys can't see it, though, does it? All right. TTD. Upcoming week's options. All right. Open interest. I say the 70s. All right, so if we went with these 66 calls, right? Pretty decent open interest, pretty decent volume, 66 calls, and then what did I say, the 60-75 support, right? So the 60 puts, right? And I don't want to go all the way out to the 70s, simply because there is... Why is my delta hidden? Oh no. Can't see the delta on it. All right. 60 puts, and let's just go with the... $69. Yeah, let's go 69 calls, 60 puts. Sorry about that. I'll have to pull up something that we can use better for options contracts. 60. All right, so 69 calls, 60 puts, and that was for TTD. All right, let me see if I can. All right, next up on our list is SPLK. I'm going to use a different service for our options. That way we can just get a little bit better. Come on. Interesting. So does this service not allow me to do anything outside of its... There we go. No. Let's try this again. All right, there we go. All right, that's better. All right. So they're saying they agree with the 60 puts, but they're saying the 67 calls, since we're targeting $70, right? We may need to just go with the 66 put calls, right? Pretty decent bid-ask spread. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and modify that for TTD to be the 67 call and the 60 put, okay? If you want to go a little closer to the money, you could grab the 64s, right? For $2, and then you start making pretty good profits off of any moves to the upside. Okay, yeah, I dig it. All right, next up on our list, SPLK, SPLK, very interesting name, but look at this flow index, okay? They've been net buying this stock since, what, 110 to 150, right? Nice up and down. What I do want to do on this one, cool little tool FlowTrade provides this, is look at this fib level. So from low to high, back to the 618, We kissed the 50% up, kissed it again. I mean, it's a pretty good retracement. Flow index is making a series of higher lows and higher highs, right? Nice move up towards the end of the week. We did rally up to hit some regular block resistance, right? We do have dark pulls support down here at 130.50, 132.60, and 136.12. Then we have a dark pull magnet way up here at 147. SPLK has about a $6 ATR, which means it can move about $6 a day. Now, this pattern right here, this little candlestick pattern where it's kind of a middle finger to you, I've got mixed emotions about that. I've seen it to where it is just a big middle finger and it sells off quickly, right? But it seems that it may be do or die time. So if it is the head and shoulders, right, it's going to come back down, and we'll know quickly if it begins to flush. The flow index will curl around and start making lower low. I don't believe there's not really a channel, right? There's not like a consistent pattern with the flow index at this point, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens with price action. Okay, 137. That's 130. 135 is kind of the 618 retracement. We get a little $2 flush and maybe find some support off of that, or do we flush all the way back down to this 130 level and then we catch this glorious downside play? Should be very interesting to watch. Let's check out what's going on with some candlestick charts, shall we? Let's be okay. All right, Splunk. Immediately I see a cup and handle, right? Big old nasty, beautiful looking cup and handle, right? We are currently barely above the 200-day, and we're currently trading at the mean. We're at the 21-day 21-day exponential moving average. Okay, TTD or TTM squeeze is going to have to curl back and around, right? So we'll look for that little slingshot. It can compress. It can do just a real quick curling around, but I think it needs to do that cycle because it doesn't appear to be a type of stock that does the histogram neutral and then histogram increasing, but I could be wrong. With these squeezes starting to release, we could get a nice extended move to the upside. The 200-day is at 136. The 200 SMA is at 136. Okay, the 50-day is down here at 126. Right. Currently trading at the 21 EMA. These Bollinger Bands are increasing, right? They're pointed up. We like to see that. So, cup and handle. Let's get it, shall we? I want to look at some fib levels. All right. All right, weekly chart. We rallied up to the monthly mid, rejected the monthly mid. Now we're pulling back. Looks like we're at a 50, 200-day. MACD trying to cross up and over, right off of support. From a fib extension perspective, right, we're in this current rally. Rallied up, 618 retracement broke. We have a little bit of room down to 128 for a 50% retracement. Below that, then we've got the 382 at 122. That's a big difference. That's a big down move. Okay, I would totally cool with a move down to 127, right, which is a 50-day on our daily chart, and the 618 retracement. From there, I think we can catch a nice move back up towards the first target 140, 145, 150, right? So 140, 445, 150 for long bias. Contrarian, like I said, if we like 128, right? Below the 122, 115, 110, right? That would be a pretty nasty drop. Daily chart, right? Oh, there's all sorts of lines on here, but look at this move. So we rallied up, we pulled back to the 618. If I moved this over to this current run, I don't know. I like how the 50-day and the 50% retracement at 128 is just spot on. Okay, but from a daily perspective, we hit that. We're trying to make a move back up. Ran into a little bit of resistance here at this 140, 142 level. I believe that there's a hidden level at 142. Okay, so I'm gonna wait till we break 142.05. Let's just do this. I'm gonna be okay. Break 142.50 for longs. Okay, there's a level there that has stuffed us. That 140, 142 level. Okay. So above that, we start to go long. Target one would be 150. Above 150, which is us getting up and out of this weekly cloud. So it's hard to see, but this is the weekly Keltner channel cloud that runs 142 to 146. Okay, up and out of that, then I think we hit 150. Above 150, target 170. I mean, jeez, look at that 1-2. Oh man, that's so gorgeous up there, right? The way that this would work would look like this. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so we would need to move up, back testing the weekly top, right? And then we would just simply little popper, locker, and dropper, right? That's a big up move right there. Okay. From a 4-hour perspective, we came in, we fell through the daily Keltner channels, came down to the daily Keltner channel bottom, which is also the 50-day. MACD's slingshot, or MACD's crossover is getting ready to happen. Currently rallied up through the mid, back tested. We held the daily Keltner channel mid. So we're looking for that initial move to the daily Keltner channel top, right? That 150 level. Above that, then we start getting pretty loosey-goosey. Got some blue skies up there. Look at that big old nasty drop. Yeah, there's definitely something at this 142 level here that's right. Dead cat bounce failure. They shorted massive. They shorted this so hard right there. Jeez. All right. Looks pretty good though, doesn't it? I think it looks pretty good. All right. Intraday perspective, right? Intraday. Nice rally from 4-hour bottom to the 4-hour top, right? Look at that. 4-hour daily bottom, all the way up to the daily mid, 4-hour top. Couldn't get back up through the weekly cloud, right? Now we're back through the 4-hour top. If we come back, we're going to retest the 4-hour mid at 135. Below that, we come back and test the 4-hour daily at 130. Okay? So, all right, shorts are liking this 135, 130 puts, right? But are we going to get a crossover up and around? Maybe. I don't see anything that's like, oh, we have support at this level, other than maybe there's a fib level there that's just kind of unseen. Let's see what, maybe we can find something here. Yeah, a little, so intraday 618 50% retracement makes sense. That weekly cloud though, that's gonna be tough to get up and through. That's where that 142, 141.75. Yeah, there's sellers there. They're gonna sell that sucker. Do you understand why? Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Hopefully y'all can see it. All right, so back in November, right, November 12th, they gapped down really hard, right? And they rallied back up and shorts came in right here and started selling that, right? So the shorts sold, they made a bunch of money. Anybody that tried to buy this dead cat bounce right here are bag holding. So they're holding for months. They're holding these upside down positions that they tried to get in on, thinking that they were going to get a dead cat bounce off of this, weekly Keltner channel support. Didn't do it, right? So it was actually a nice short. So the longs that came in here and bought this, thinking they were going to buy the dip, are holding the bag. They've been holding, right? Some of them got out here, right? At the beginning of the month, some got out, right? Those that didn't, right, are going to get out the next time we get to that level. So there'll be some selling opportunity up here. That's why getting through this weekly cloud is going to be so tough. That's why I said longs above 150. Is that what I said? Longs above 142.50, huh? Okay, let me rethink that a minute. Okay, so there's a move from 142 to 150. The safe move, set an alert at 150 and look to get long above 151 for that move back up to fill this gap. Oh, it's gonna be really nice. But right, we want to scalp. We scalp above 142 to 150. Okay, longs are like in the 145, 150 move. Okay, wait. Oh, 140. Heck yeah. Let's look at that. Okay, 140, 145, 150, 135, 130. All right, depending on the options chain, let's see what we got here. Oh, we have dollar increments. Hold on. Let's look at this. That's all right. So the short's like the 135, 130s. We can actually get a little closer to the money on these. I still like the 135s. These 133s are pretty interesting as well. Honestly, that's a pretty decent bid-ask spread, right? Okay. So the 140, 141s. I'm gonna go with the 140 calls. And the 135 puts. Okay. Alrighty. Next up on our list is Baba. Now, Baba has had some issues recently. Really? Don't you hate it when you get your hands in the wrong spot? I do. All right, so Baba. Let's look at the flow index. So flow index pulled back, rallied, consolidated, rally. Is another pullback consolidation rally. Should be very interesting. But what I'm seeing here is the flow index is, they've been buying into this choppiness that's going on with Baba. And I mean, we've got divergence up to about 110. Okay. Currently chilling at 95. 95 seems to be a pretty significant level. Rallied up, gap down, filled the gap. Right, rallied up. So we were, this right here, this move is just to fill this gap. Which we did. So we filled the gap. Look at the amount of regular dark pool and white line trades on Baba. So currently regular blocks at 95.49, regular dark pool at 96.31. I mean, we've got regular blocks all the way up at 110. It's the last 2 days, right? This isn't regular and dark pool data from March and April. This is 2 days worth, right? So You see what I'm saying? All right. Interesting. Huh, I'll have to look into that a little bit more. All right. Pretty easy peasy, right? Falling overhead resistance. We are currently chilling at a pretty significant support level. All right, so we're looking for that breakout. I'm keeping an real close eye on this flow index right here. If this flow index, right, doesn't find support at this level here, you see, then I think we have the flow index coming down. This dam will break and we will back test this gap that runs from 76 to 87. 77 to 87 gap, right? Baba's got a $6.34 ATR, so let's keep an eye on it. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. All right. All right. Everybody knows the story of how Baba fell out of grace, rallied back down, right? Fell down to previous long-term support from June of 2016 was the last time it was trading at $76, right? Imagine giving up, 6 years worth of gains. Oh yeah, in a year. So, all right, weekly candles, right? We rallied up. We rejected the bottom of the monthly Keltner channel. Typically when that happens, we set up for a larger move down. What I do want to keep an eye on is if this is a good retracement for the next move up, or if we start breaking through like our fib levels. If we're below the 2.3 or the 3.8, then this is a down cycle, and we can, we could look at 75 puts, right? 60 puts, right? Look at that. You realize September of 2014, I think Baba is when Baba came on the market. We are currently trading wow. Okay. So what I'm saying is if we break down below like 87, 88, like we were right at the top of a down cycle zone. Wow, this can be glorious. So weekly chart always kind of tells you what's really going on with the market. All right, the 4 hour and then the daily. All right, what happened? So we came through the weekly cloud, rejected the weekly mid. We've got a weekly bottom support down here at 90.65. Earnings is coming up in a couple weeks. Is this a pre-anticipatory run up to earnings? Could very well be. Remember, we rejected the weekly here, and we're trying to find a way back up. Let's run a fib extension from our low to our high, right? And then back down and see where we're at. Okay. So 618 pullback, 50% retracement. We can move all the way down here to this weekly bottom, 382. So let's just say 90 is support. Below 90, it can get real ugly. All right. Support down at 90. That is the it's a 382 retracement-ish. Okay, so let's see if we got other support that we can use. Weekly, all right. This is the 4-hour candlesticks using the daily Keltner channels, right? So we came down where the daily bottom here. MACD is not really curling up to help us out any. We're kind of stuck in between a 50% and 382 retracement. If we come back down and rally back up, reject the daily bottom, then we're definitely going to see a flush down to these lows. Okay. I don't want to see that. So I'd like to see a move back up through the daily Keltner channel bottom, right? Go long above 100, right? For a move up to 108 and then 119. Well, yeah, 108. It's just going to be tough. It's got a lot of overhead resistance. Okay. So let me show you how this would look for longs, right? Shorts is going to look like this. Up and down, and up, right? Longs are going to look like this. It's going to be a fight, 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 fight. And probably get stuffed in there somewhere. Okay. Chop, chop, chop. Chop, 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 chop. Right. We are at that level, y'all. Daily bottom. If our daily bottom breaks, we don't have anything to stop us till we get to the weekly bottom down at 90. Like I said, below 90, we hit 82, and then it's game over for Baba. Okay. This weekly cloud trade looks fun, right? Trade 95 to 99 with a 4-hour bottom somewhere between 96 and 97.50. All right, depending on how the options chain looks, I like the 97, 98, 100 calls. Remember, we're trying to trade that divergence back to 110. 97, 98, 100 calls. And then it's really easy to look at these at the 90 puts. Oh, dang it, I forgot to do this one first. My bad. All right, Baba's trading at about a negative 1.5 ATR away from the 21-day EMA. We're trading the 21 and the 50 is right at the same level, 109. Point of control is coming in at 115. Right? Like I said, we have support down to 90. But below 90, it gets real sketchy. Okay? Couldn't get above the 50. Look at this. Got above the 50 for a second. Held it for a second. Gave it up. Couldn't get above it. 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 Right? Got above it. Got above it. And gave it up again. Okay. So lots of like... I mean, you could possibly look at going short. So, like I said, the 90 puts look good, and the 100, 115 calls. All right, here we go. Baba for next week. Like I said, the 97, 90, 97, 98, 100 calls, right? Even though it would cost me a little bit more, I think I'd rather get the 99s, right? From a put perspective, they're looking at, geez, yeah, so those 90 puts that I was talking about, look at the open interest on those. The 93 puts look pretty decent. So let's look at, there's a butterfly there, 95, 93. Huh, interesting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab probably the 93 puts, right? And then the 99 $100 calls. All right, next up on our list and final one for the week is low. This is the Home Depot competitor, right? Low. Wow. Okay. So there is an ex-dividend day on the 19th, so be aware of that. The price of the stock will usually drop by whatever the dividend amount is, and it looks like they're 80-cent dividend, so price action should close 80 cents lower on that day. Okay. We are currently trading at point of control. Interesting. We did have 5,200 cross down a couple days ago, so the first time in since basically COVID. Wow. All right, so we do have a 50. We have a death cross. We have a 50 cross down below the 200. We're currently trading. We traded all the way down to -2 ATR, rallied up to -1 ATR, and pulled back. We are trading at -1 ATR, but we do have some slingshot squeezes setting up. There's no squeezes happening, so the histogram, the TTM histogram, is starting to curl back up and around. I'm not super bullish on this, but let's look and see what the flow index has to say, shall we? Look at that. I see steady buying, right? Steady buying, nice little rally up to about here. We had some divergence that came in, right? What I mean is at this point, price started going down while the flow index was still going up, as you can see that there. We have a regular block at $200.65, white line level at 204.25, and regular blocks all the way up. Now, I believe that this, yes, that trend line support did get broken. We are coming down here. If we take out, right, we start taking out this $200 level, it can get free falling pretty quickly. But at the same time, the flow index is buying into it. Where's their support? Where's their retrace? Where's their reversal level? I think it's pretty close to where we're at now. Okay. This is low. All right, let me get to, all right, weekly chart on low. Fell into the monthly Keltner channel mid, and we're trying to get back up and through it. I don't know what that stupid line is, but we're definitely trading below the 50 and below the 200. I think 200 is the line in the sand. Below that, let's say we break 190. $196, right? Below 186, we don't have anything down to 160, except for some previous highs. 180, then 180 down to 160. So it's kind of do or die time for low. So let's say all right, below 196, is that what I said? $196.50. We look at downside support. All right, so we came down from a daily, weekly, weekly Celts. We rallied, couldn't get up through it. We pulled back, and we're just really holding on to support right here. This is a previous support and resistance zone. I'm just put this line up here so y'all can see that, right? Rallied, gap up, pull through, gap up, big up, down, rejected it, up through it, consolidated at this level for several weeks, actually a couple months at this $200 psychological level, and finally got some momentum up and behind us. But look at this, so we're getting the maybe a crossover, earnings coming up next month, dividend day, another 80-cent drop, right? Could start us in a downward cycle. Goodness. All right, weekly, monthly. Okay, so we 4-hour fell through the daily. We're currently the daily Keltner channel bottom, right? Broke trend line support, downturn to MACD. Like I said, I'm looking for the downside on this sucker. Down to 197, right? From there, it's got to retrace, or it's going to give up a lot of juice. 180, sub 180, 150. Okay, so low moves about $6.50 a day. 201. Yeah, it's just super heavy. All right. 196.50 puts. And I'm having a hard time finding anything for longs. All right. All right, we do have a 4-hour bottom that's going to provide a little support at 199.84. We could trade all the way down the daily cloud to 197.71 and still possibly move back up, but this is from a cycle perspective, we're in the down cycle through the weekly bottom for our top, for our mid, for our bottom, daily bottom support. So this is one of those, if they're buying the dip, they're going to buy the dip. If not, then we can look at pretty much a fall through. If I had to choose a long, right, I would say let's look at the 204, 209 calls. And then from a put perspective, the 200, 197s. All right, they're saying the 200, 202.50s, 205s. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I said the 204, 209s, like the 205s. I'd be willing to look at those. And they're saying the 197.50 calls or puts. Interesting. That means that we would be down to 191. It makes sense. Yeah, that's the ticket. The 197.50 puts, because if it hits 196.50, you're a dollar in the money. 205, 197.50s. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dark Pelago. This is nasty, right? This can get real ugly real quick on lows, so just be careful. There's going to be so much volatility with it. But that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dark Pelago. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 Eastern. So I'll see you then. Have a great day. Talk to you later.